When I look at internal alchemy, when I look at TRE, tension trauma releasing exercises, when I look at all of these somatic tools that I've learned or designed, created, I think it all comes down to the personal journey first before explaining what is what. And one of my teachers did a workshop the other week where she said, a lot of times when people train to become a yoga teacher or TRE provider or anything in the field of somatic work or coaching, personal training for that matter, a lot of people will do it for 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, and then they will do another training or another job and they change. And I always wonder, why is that? Like, why do people change so frequently? And in this workshop, she talked a lot about the classic, like making a business, mission, vision, statement, purpose, but also on a personal level, on an organizational level, on a national level, what you want to do on a national level with your work. And I realized it really comes down to what is your purpose? Like, what is it that you think is your gift to the world or your expression or how you can be of service? And for me, when I do that work for myself or when I coach others through this process, I would say a lot of it has to do with your own journey. Like what you've gone through, what you lived through, what you were able to overcome, integrate, process. It just becomes wisdom for you. And that wisdom is obvious for you, but maybe not for others. So when you can recognize and see that, many times a lot of people that I work with, they feel called to give some tools or help to people like that because you know how it feels. You know how it feels inside. And you know this how scared you can feel, the fear of not being able always to find the tools or the resources or communities that can understand you, relate to you, and guide you through different processes and events that happens in life. And that's really how I found TRE, tension and trauma releasing exercises, that I studied all the psychology, personal training, massage, sports coaching, behavior science, you name it. I studied all over the world, traveling and did a lot of work, but it wasn't embodied. Like it wasn't fully embodied. Not like deciding I'm gonna meditate and shut everything off, because that can disconnect you too. That can dissociate you. But actually bringing the body with me, bringing the nervous system with me into every act, every decision that I make throughout my day, and notice what that does to me. And then having something like the tremoring mechanism, the natural shaking mechanism that we have inside of us to let go of stress and tension so we can foster that connection to ourselves deeper. And that's really what I learned through the TRE. Like old injuries started to heal. I started to trust my body more, started to let go of stress and anxiety and triggers in a different way. I had a lot of strong traumas and post-traumatic stress symptoms and you name it. I had a lot of things. And theory really helped with that. Not that it took it away in that sense, but it helped me look at it in a different way. It helped me be able to show up for myself in a different way. Helped me understand myself and others in a different way, which made it more compassionate and relatable. And it made it safer for me to just understand where I'm coming from. And working with Thierry, both teaching it to clients, corporates, one-on-one people of all walks in life, different professions. I also realized I wanted to teach this, become a certification trainer, because I wanted more people to have this knowledge. And so I did. But even then, I felt like, there's something else that wants to come through. This modality is amazing. There's nothing wrong with it. It just felt like there's something else that wants to come through. And I spoke a lot with the founder, Dr. David Berceli. And after a lot of different personal explorations and discussions with different people, the modality internal alchemy started to come through me, which is really an accumulation of everything I've been doing in my life. Breath work, the tremors, the energy work, the fascia work, grounding, nervous system, connecting. So I put it together as modality together with the founder of TRE, Dr. David Berceli, and it really started to change my life in many ways. It started to give me a clarity of how things are related holistically, more than a conceptual idea, how you actually can combine things, how you shouldn't combine certain things in certain times, certain aspects, how you have a comprehensive way of working with mind, body, emotions, so spirit that is not dogmatic, that's not stuck to a belief system, that's explorative, that you can do from your cultural context, that you can use as a way of expressing yourself. So the way that I build the practice and the program that I teach to people is really that you make it your own and you express through the words that it's going to be of best service to the people that you talk to, from the expression of who you authentically are and where you are shining your gift, your purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. And there's really no end to it, because everything you learn, you can actually bring into it. Many times when you learn a modality or a practice, it's like, no, this is how we do it. You can't mix this. And internal alchemy is more, is it safe? Is it aligned? Does it make sense for what you're trying to do or the space you're creating for the people that you're working with? Then go ahead, add it in. Is it ethical? Is it moral? All of these things, like, yes, then go ahead, add it in, because the body needs a lot of different things to feel good. You're not going to eat the same food every day. You're not going to do the same practice. You're not going to have the same work tasks. You need variety, you need stimulation. As you age, you need different things. Just look at nature. Nature changes in seasons. So I built this practice as a way of being able to navigate these seasons that we have naturally in life. And for me, it gave me, I guess, a lot more peace of mind. I come from a martial arts background. I come from a quite disciplined background where I'm used to doing the same thing over and over again until you get a result without changing a lot. And although that's a quality that's good and that's needed many times, it's not always sustainable throughout life to do things that way, because you might wind up not listening to your body, and your body might need different things throughout life. You know, it's not that you're going to be lazy and not have discipline and focus and drive, but how can we do it smarter, not harder? How can we work with the body and not against it? So internal alchemy really gave me a very practical, tangible way of listening to my body, to my mind, and able to follow it throughout life, having a lifelong practice, both personally but also professionally. And whatever I learn, I can bring it in. I can keep on adding to it. So it's become something else. And I think when I see that, when I teach internal alchemy, the program, to other professionals, I think that's one of the main things I realize from the feedback I get from them, that it's such a deep personal journey. And that's many times why we do a lot of trainings. We're looking to fix ourselves. We're looking, not that we need to fix, but we're looking for something for ourselves. And I think really this is something that can give you that. You can feel good about yourself, but you can also learn how to create a framework that allows others to find the answer, that you create a safe container space for others where they can explore and find their own answers using all of these different tools and modalities and practices. And it really starts from your own personal practice. Because the deeper that one is, I'm not saying you have to do 5 hours a day, but the deeper your practice is to yourself, the more you can listen to yourself, the more embodied you are. That's really a super tool. That's where you can teach others. That's where you can connect to others. So that's really the ethos of the practices that I do in my programs, is that you are coming from a deep resonance, authentic place within yourself when whatever you're doing, not by imposing or trying to be something or a persona. No, you're actually connecting from that place and speaking from that place. And then your authentic expression will come out. And that is many times connecting to something that drives us forward, whatever we choose to call that. So, what I'm trying to say with that, you're not just using your own energy, you're co-creating something with other people, like you're living in alignment, which means you can do a lot more without you being burnt out, because it's not you pouring energy out to everyone else. It's reciprocal. You give something, you get something back. And I think more and more that's what I'm looking for in different practices today for myself. And when I add other, I still do a lot of trainings and add it into the Internal Alchemy program. I'm looking for things that create sustainability and reciprocity, because that's how nature works. Not that I have to do something to get something, but it's a flow of energy, right? That there's an exchange of energy. Sometimes I give more, sometimes I give less. That's not the point. But there needs to be a flow. It can just be a one way. And the more we can realize that, the more we can work with that, the more we can continue doing what we're doing and feeling motivated and happy, and not getting burnt out or resentful or not feeling appreciated, or a lot of these things that I see happens many times with people that are full of heart and want to help others, but don't really know how to build it so it's sustainable and good for you, not just financially, but that you also feel good about yourself and it's not just about everyone else all the time. So that's really what I was looking for, or that was my expression and way of giving something to other practitioners or people who become practitioners, a sustainable way of actually teaching something professionally, and an ethos, a practice that you can do for yourself that allows you to continuously grow without feeling that it's a young man or young woman's game, that you're full of ideas and inspiration and want to save the world. Now you can actually have something you can do throughout life because you're listening and you're following yourself and the seasons. So when I build a program, I made two tracks that are for your own personal development. One track is just the videos, pre-recorded videos, no meetups, nothing. You just do it on your own personal time, and there's no certification in it, but you just learn all the techniques, the tools, how to practice it safely for yourself. Uh, a step in that direction is also that you can add in the Wellspring program, which is a lot of different classes that we have in different, in breath work, in fascia movements, in the whole modality, internal alchemy, Phoenix Rising, which is the system modality that Sarah, my wife, created, flow writing, and a lot of other tools that we learn how to work with throughout the years. So you can get a lot of classes in, a lot of sessions that you can practice for your own personal well-being, but also get an idea of how classes looks like if you want to pursue a different program later on. But you get a variety of how you can change these practices and use the parameters a little bit differently. So there's two tracks you can do for yourself that doesn't really require anything other than your time, an internet connection, and the initial investment for the program. And then I made three tracks. One track for TRE providers, an add-on training to become an internal alchemy practitioner. And I made a track for people that want to teach us groups, because there's a lot of people that want to do group facilitator trainings. They teach it more to groups in group settings. And then I did one track where you learn how to do one-on-ones and group sessions. So those are really the 5 levels that I'm teaching the program at this point. And if you want to know more, you can always reach out to me. We can have a free consultation. There's classes you can try. There's master classes. There's lots of material I put out on the net, and I'm continuing to put out so people can understand what this work is about. They can see if it's for you. You can start to feel with your body. Am I relating to this or not? And connect to that practice, that energy, and see what it wants to do for you. So you can follow me on Instagram, Internal Alchemy with Simba. And you can write me there if you want to know more about this modality. You can write me at simba@livingwiththespirit.com. And I'll be more than happy to answer any question you might have or inquiry. And I think really the most important things with something like this is to do your own research. Look a little bit in some videos, read a little bit about it, hear what other people said, maybe connect with the person directly, have a call with them if you're interested, and then make a decision from within if this is something you want to pursue and explore. And what we are going to do, me and my wife, next year is we've been in Thailand for the last 8 years now, where we do retreats. People can come here and do retreats and learn about these different tools and modalities. We're still gonna do that, but we're also gonna travel. We're gonna travel a lot. We've been invited to a lot of different places around the world. So we might be in an area close to you doing in-person trainings or workshops or retreats or one-on-one sessions. So that's also a reason why you can follow me on Instagram, so you can see what we are up to and if we might be in the area close to you. And of course, you can always come here to Thailand if you want to meet us in person and explore some other options that we have, and ways to work with us. Anyways, whatever you do, choose from within. Whatever you do, try to come back into that place. And from that place, the choices you make will be sustainable, relatable, and it will just feel good. You won't have second guesses. You will feel that you trust yourself and your ability to make decisions, seeing the outcome from these decisions a lot better. And I think the more that we do that, the more we can trust ourselves and everyone else, and the better we're gonna feel from there.